The Two-Rock John Mayer Signature, it's one of the most sought after amps on the planet, but for good reason. It sounds amazing to start with, like all Two-Rocks do, but they also only made 25 of them, so it's super rare. And if you're lucky enough to find one of these amps, it's probably going to set you back about $20,000 if the secondhand market is anything to go by. For the rest of us, we probably need to look elsewhere. If you're anything like me, tried all the pedals, tried lots of different amps to get that John Mayer tone, but I think I finally found it. And that's in the form of this, which is the 2 from Vyse Amplification. Now the guys at Vyse have kindly let me borrow this amp. They haven't given it to me, unfortunately. They're not paying me to make this video. I'm just sharing my thoughts, giving the amp a bit of a test drive, and really letting them know what I think about it. So the original Two-Rock is 100 watts. And if you're anything like me, 100 watts is probably a little bit too much these days. But 50 watts, which is what this amp comes in at, is just right. It really hits the sweet spot. It has lots of bells and whistles. So it's a single channel clean amp, but you can really crank it and get some nice overdrive tones out of it. But it's also got lots of tone shaping capabilities. So we've got a 3-way bright switch, which is really useful for kind of brightening up dark guitars. I have a thin line Telecaster, which is super dark. The bright switch really brings it to life. We have a 3-way mid switch as well, which is great for, you know, that kind of solo boost should you need it. And also a deep switch, which for me personally, I find it's really good for sort of like filling out the bottom end on thin guitars, like my Strat bridge pickup, for example. Typical TMB treble middle bass tone stack, but we also have a contour control, which helps change the frequency response for the high and low frequencies. So all of these switches, the 3-band EQ and the contour, really let you dial in your tone. We've also got a send and receive for the reverb, which is quite cool. So you can really sort of like fine tune the reverb sound that you're getting based on how much you want to send and receive from the tank. And finally, master volume, which is really important, certainly to me on an amp. If you've seen my Renegade review, which is here, if you want to check it out, one of the comments I made was that I really kind of miss having a master volume on an amp. So this one's got one, which is great. Just other features on this amp, you can hook up a footswitch, but I can't tell you what that does because I haven't tried it. And it also has a pentode and triode switch, so you can effectively change the power mode of the amp. The nice thing about this, because it's a completely hand-wired amp and it's made by the guys at Vyse here in Bristol in the southwest of England, if you want to make any changes, any modifications, tweaks to the amp, they're more than capable of doing that for you. You just need to ask. I think they actually recommend you take the amp away and try it out for a month or two, and then just take it back to them and see if there's anything you want to change. For me personally, the way I like to run the amp is the way that Guthrie Trapp kind of recommends for like a pedal platform. Crank the master volume and then just bring in the preamp sort of as much as you need it to. I like to run it super clean. For those kind of slow dancing in a burning room tones, this amp has them in spades. And I just find that that's kind of the best way to set it for me. It also gives you the most headroom. So if you want to run pedals into the amp, this is a really good way of doing it. But as I said, if you do want that kind of natural overdrive from the amp, just by pushing the preamp, then it can do that as well. One thing I have noticed is the overdrive on it is quite bright. So as you increase the gain into the amp, you do need to kind of tweak the contour control and the EQ to kind of tailor your sound and to the guitar that you're playing through it as well. But the nice thing about this amp is because you have all of the little switches and the different EQ controls, it's really easy to do that. And it can be quite fun just kind of seeing what sort of sounds and tones you can get from this amp. So I've had it for a couple of weeks, and a couple of things I've noticed is the more I use it, the more I love this amp, which is really frustrating because I don't need another amp. But also it just seems to sound better each time I play it. And I'm not sure if it's because it's a new amp that's been recently built and it's just kind of breaking in or what, but it's really opening up the more I play through it. And I was playing it last night for a few hours and I was just, yeah, I just couldn't get enough of it, to be honest. We've all been there. Running the amp through a couple of G10 80th anniversary Celestions. If you were to buy this from Vyse, it's just the head. So I'm sure they could make you a cabinet, or if you wanted a combo version, I'm sure that's something that they could make for you because they make all the cabs themselves in their workshop. And I've got it mic'd up, as I always do, with the Loughton Audio LA120 and a Shure SM57. I just find that this is a really kind of accurate representation of what I'm hearing in the room. But anyway, enough of me rambling on. Let's hear the amp. So that's the two from Vyse Amplification. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'd really love to hear them. I'm sure the guys at Vyse would as well. This is a really cool amp. I know it's a clone, but it still feels super unique. It's really special. Pretty cool that it's currently a one-off as well. This is the first one that they've made. But I think they'll probably be making a few more of them if my experience has been anything to go by. Yeah, so as always, thank you for checking out the video. Do all the YouTube stuff, give it a like, drop a comment below. I know you guys always do, so thank you for that. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Go play your guitar.